to the brand new Renault Clio. Hi guys, Eric here and welcome back to my channel. Today we will be having a look at this 2022 Renault Clio 1.0T Turbo Life. It looks great, especially considering that this is the entry-level model. What about the rest of the package though? A huge congratulations is in order to Darren Murdoch for correctly identifying the wheel design of a Ford Ranger. Well done, Darren. Would you like to be mentioned in my next video? All you have to do is to make sure that you're subscribed to my channel and tell me what car this wheel design belongs to using the comment section below. Be sure to identify both the make and model. Let's see who knows most about cars. I would like to take this time to give a massive thank you to the awesome staff at Sterling Renault. They have a humongous range of different vehicles and they are open for business. They are located on Mitchell Street in Hermanus, so be sure to check them out. A link to their website will be in the description box below. The Clio is a B-segment hatchback from French manufacturer Renault. The first generation Clio was released in 1990. It was built to replace the aging but capable Renault 5. Even though it looked very modern for the time, its floor plan and suspension remained largely unchanged from its predecessor. Power from petrol engines ranged from 40 to 110 kilowatt, with the sole diesel option producing 74 kilowatt and 180 Nm of torque. The second generation Clio was introduced in 1998. This model retained a lot of the same engines as the first generation. This model, however, received plastic front wings, and in some cases the bonnet was made out of aluminium. This was to help prevent corrosion. The most interesting thing about this version was the red-hot mid-engine Clio V6. This engine produced a vicious 165 kilowatt. It was insane for the time. The third generation Clio was released to the public in 2005. This model was quite a bit bigger than its predecessor and more expensive. Power for this model ranged from 56 to 150 kilowatt, a massive power band. It was also very safe, receiving a maximum 5 out of 5 stars from Euro NCAP. With the fourth generation, which was unveiled in 2012, Renault extended the wheelbase even more and added features such as hands-free, a rear-view camera, and dual-clutch automatic transmissions. Also making headlines was the new 0.9-litre turbo 3-cylinder engine. It produced 67 kilowatt and 135 Nm of torque and returned an excellent 4.5 litres per 100 kilometers. The RS's sole dual-clutch transmission received criticism though for being slow to react. This is the latest 5th generation of the venerable Clio name. It was released internationally in 2019 and locally only this year. This model is powered by a 1-litre 3-cylinder turbo petrol engine that produces a respectable 74 kilowatt and 160 Nm of torque. 0 to 100 kilometers an hour is dealt with in 11.8 seconds and fuel economy is an impressive 5.7 litres per 100 kilometers. When it comes to its looks, I think it is one of the most attractive cars in its segment. It looks very similar to its predecessor, but there are subtle hints to notify you of its freshness. The most obvious of which is the new headlight cluster design with LED headlights that match that of the Megane and the Koleos. The grille is quite small by today's standards, but the oversized Renault logo works well in today's design climate. In profile, it looks excellent. The sloping roofline and small windows gives it a coupe look. The 16-inch alloy wheels is a very nice touch too. The rear looks quite aggressive, with slanted rear light clusters and a small rear window. The massive Renault logo makes an appearance again. All in all, I think it looks great. Step inside the new Clio and you're greeted with a rather dark but very well appointed cabin. The design is very modern. There is a faux air vent that extends across the passenger dashboard, a tablet-like infotainment system, and bits of chrome dotted about the cabin. Part of the center console is raised, which puts the gear lever right at hand, and the center control stack is slightly angled towards the driver. This makes for a very engaging driving position. Build quality is good. The center console, for instance, is a bit loose, but it is not bad at all. Fit and finish is excellent too. All the trim pieces align beautifully and the panel gaps are consistently small throughout the cabin. It's quite impressive for a B-segment hatch. Use of materials, in this entry-level version at least, is quite disappointing though. Soft touch plastics can be found on top of the dash, but the remaining plastics are of the hard and scratchy variety. The color scheme is quite dark and monocolor too. Now this is only for the entry-level Life model. The Intense and Zen models get a bit more shiny trim, but in here at least, it's quite depressing. Let's take a closer look though, starting with the door panel. Well, I really like it. The general design reminds me a bit of a reclining chair. These window switches feel amazing too. They wouldn't feel out of place in an Audi. The armrest is firmly padded, which aids driving comfort as well. That being said, the door handle is made out of unpainted black plastic. There is no fabric insert to break up all the plastic textures, and while the door pockets are deep, they are a bit too narrow. The doors do offer a good amount of weight to them though, and close with a very satisfying thud. Turning to the steering wheel, it is excellent. In fact, it is the highlight of this cabin for me. Its rim might not be wrapped in leather, but it is accented by beautiful piano black plastic trim. These buttons feel of excellent quality, and there is loads of adjustment in the steering column. The stalks are easy to understand and they feel of good quality. It's really impressive for an entry-level B-segment hatch. The instrument cluster impresses too. It is unmistakably Renault dials. These thin digits with half-diamond indicators just scream French eccentricity. I really like it though because it's different without being too unconventional and confusing. You get an analog fuel and water temperature gauge as well. In between the two dials there is a full-color drives information display. It communicates a comprehensive trip computer, a tire pressure monitor, audio information, service information and total distance traveled. This system is controlled using the buttons on the right-hand side of the steering wheel. It works very well. It's not digital dials, but this is an entry-level car. The infotainment system comes courtesy of this full-color touchscreen tablet-like display. It is very responsive to my touch and the graphics are nice and bright. On the other hand though, loading times are not the shortest, the menu structure can be confusing and you don't get a volume dial. Instead you get this single volume button that gives you access to adjusting it. It isn't really very intuitive. It comes very well equipped though. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Bluetooth audio, a USB input and auxiliary port all come as standard, and the 6-speaker sound system packs quite a punch. The climate controls are very similar to those you would find in the Kiger and the Renault Triber. Now while it works well in budget-orientated cars, it feels a little out of place in the Clio. The dials themselves are a bit cheap and the buttons don't feel solidly integrated. It's very simple to understand, which helps with safety, but I'm a bit disappointed in the tactile finish. These seats might look a bit plain, but they're actually very supportive. The seat base is very long, which makes for excellent under-thigh support, and my lower back feels nicely cradled too. The only thing missing in this model at least is a height adjustment for the driver's seat. Other than that, you wouldn't want for much. With the design out of the way, let's discuss the Clio's practical side, starting with its storage solutions. Well, to be honest, it's a bit of a hit and miss. The undampened glove box is of a decent size, but the fuse box eats into space on right-hand drive models. You get a nice big tray in front of the gear lever though, 2 wide and deep cup holders, a decently sized open compartment behind the handbrake, and nice and deep front door pockets. Sadly, you don't get any coin compartments nor a sunglasses holder. It's not bad by any means, it's just not great. Get in the back and things are less than stellar. You do have just about enough headroom for an average sized male adult, and the same goes for knee room, but footroom is quite limited. These windows are small, the window line is quite high, and the front seats are very wide, so it feels quite dark and snug back here. Storage isn't great either. There is no armrest, no integrated cup holders or even rear seat pockets. You do get small rear door pockets and an integrated coin compartment, but that's about it. There is no rear air vents present either. That being said, the rear bench is nice and comfortable, but I wouldn't want to spend much time back here. The boot is an amazing size of 391 litres. That is 40 litres more than the VW Polo and more than 100 litres more than the Peugeot 208. It is incredibly deep as well. You might not get any tethering hooks or 12-volt sockets, but you do get 2 grocery hooks and a full-size spare wheel, and that's not bad. The rear seats fold flat in a 60-40 split, but this sadly creates a big ridge in the load floor, which limits through loading. The boot lip is absolutely massive too because the boot is this deep, which means it can be difficult to lift heavy things over the bumper. Regardless, if boot space is your main priority, the Clio will be right up your alley. So far, the Clio presents excellent build quality but limited rear practicality. What is the driving experience like though? Starting with driving around town, the Clio performs quite well. The controls are nice and light, the turning circle is tight, and there's a progressive action to the clutch. You get rear park distance control as standard too, which really helps when you want to do some parking. Forward visibility is good thanks to thin A-pillars, but rearward visibility is rather limited. The C-pillars are on the fat side and the rear window is quite small. Thankfully, the engine feels strong and the suspension is nice and comfortable. Out on the twisties and the Clio impresses. The steering is on the numb side, but it's very direct, which inspires some confidence, and body roll is well kept in check. I wouldn't exactly call it a blast to drive, but it feels safe, solid and secure. Out on the open road though is where the Clio really impresses. Road noise and tyre roar is very well insulated and the suspension is pliant and comfortable. The seats provide excellent support and the sound system sounds great even at speed. The only slight gripe I have has to do with the gearing. This is a 5-speed gearbox, which results in an engine that revs at 3,500 RPM at our national speed limit. The noise itself isn't actually that intrusive, but it is audible. While mid-range torque is quite impressive, overtaking might require some forward planning and a dropped cog or two. Other than that, I can see myself in here on longer journeys. Reliability might be quite a concern for a lot of people, but it is worth noting that according to the What Car Reliability Survey, the previous generation Clio placed above the Ford Fiesta, Opel Corsa and the Kia Rio. What's more, the Clio comes with a 5-year 150,000 kilometer warranty and a 2-year 30,000 kilometer service plan. It is safe too, receiving the maximum 5 out of 5 stars from Euro NCAP. Interested in something similar? Have a look at the new VW Polo. It provides excellent practicality and a wider range of engines, but it isn't as attractive as the Clio, nor is it as well equipped. Then there is our Hyundai i20. It is practical, well priced and faster than the Clio, but its looks might not appeal to all. The Peugeot 208 is another excellent choice. It looks absolutely amazing and build quality is fantastic, but it is more expensive and it is less practical than the Clio. Have a look at all of them though, they are all great little cars. All in all, I think this is an excellent offering from Renault. If you love to stand out, you love to feel cosseted, and you don't have a big or too tall family, the Renault makes a great case for itself. Well done, Renault! Thank you so much for watching another one of my videos. If you enjoyed it, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It makes such a world of difference to my channel. If you haven't already, remember to subscribe and you will get notifications of upcoming reviews. I have loads more lined up for you guys, so stay tuned. If you own a Renault Clio and you would like to share your experiences, please use the comment section below. I would love to hear your stories. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Until next time, bye.